Hi, welcome to Door to Door with your host, me, Judy Stakee. Join me as I travel all over interviewing songwriters about their process.
Hi, welcome to Door, and today we're interviewing the one and only Judy Stakee. Judy is a songwriting mentor and artist developer behind incredible talents such as Sheryl, Katy Perry, songwriters Walter Afanasieff, John Shanks, Kevin Kadish. The list is pretty endless. And I'm Luke Yates. I have had the privilege of working alongside Judy for the last year and a half. And today I get to turn the tables on her. Hey Judy.
Yay. Hi.
So how do we know each other?
We know each other when you reached out and hired me as a consultant for your career. And after a couple times, I told you that I was coming to London for an event, and we started talking, and I hired you as my event manager to put on retreats all over the world, which is now a huge part of my business. And I'm happy to say that you are becoming more permanent in my company than I ever imagined, but it's very exciting.
It's my
Very
privilege.
exciting, yeah.
It's been an amazing ride the last year and a half.
Absolutely.
So let's kick off. Elevator pitch. Who are you in 30 seconds?
I am by trade a music publisher who is on this earth to protect, nurture, and inspire the songwriter and the songwriting, the creative process that goes along with that. That's what I do. That's who I am.
And what are you working on right now?
Right now, I am working on my second book, which is called The Autobiography of a Song Plugger, and it'll be all the stories of how my songwriters came to be from my perspective. I am working on always doing more door-to-door series, hence this one. And with you, we're working on putting on about a dozen more retreats next year. So the plate is full right now. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm going to kick off with a question. If you
Okay.
could go back in time and speak to Judy Stakee Judy Murphy, when she was 14 years old, and give her some advice, what would you say to her?
14. Wow. Okay. I would say don't stop the guitar piano lessons. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. It's the one thing that I wish I had stayed with. I played the piano for 13 years, and I can read music, and I know a few chords on the guitar. But I know that I could become a much better songwriter and performer if I could play an instrument. I shouldn't say better. I just think that I would have more tools in my tool chest.
It's never too late.
No, it's very true.
Yeah.
To find the time.
What is it like to be a woman in music? What are the advantages and disadvantages?
Well, for me, there was never a disadvantage of being a woman in the music business. It was harder during corporate America because I had to answer to a lot of men, and for most of my career, I had amazing men to talk to and to answer to communicate with. But I believe that being a woman in this business is so wonderful because I get to access all of the nurturing and mothering instincts that I have that really go along with my job. Now, that doesn't serve me in corporate America in a business meeting against men. It's like I have to be very conscious of of business and how I act in each one. But the nurturing part of being a woman and being able to inspire and educate songwriters, I think has been to a great advantage for me.
Yeah. Well, when I talk about you to my friends, I call you the Mother Goose of songwriters. So could you talk us briefly through your career? How did it start? How did you end up where you are now?
Well, my mom says I came out of the womb singing and dancing, and I followed that path. They were very supportive in piano lessons and guitar lessons and singing lessons and just dancing and doing whatever we wanted to do. I went to college. I got a degree at USC in voice, and I actually got a state scholarship to go there. When I graduated from USC, though, there was no internet and there was no me waiting on the other side to guide me and navigate me through what I needed to do. And on my bucket list is being on Broadway, because that's what I wish I would have known the path to go. But I ended up working for a music publishing company called Arista Music. And I was very fortunate to land in that job, and it was the perfect job for me. because it was all about developing and managing the songwriter and about the song. You had to start with that, and there was just nothing else, and that's been my whole career. That's been the foundation of it. So I worked for Arista for 7 years for the rest in peace, the wonderful Billy Michelle, and under the guidance of Clive Davis, of course. And then I went to Screen Gems Music, which was a larger publishing company. And I was fortunate because it was most of the Brill Building writers. So I was in charge of Carole King, Jerry Goffin, Barry Mann, and Cynthia Weil. And can I just tell you that I'm a little upset that there were no cell phones around, because you didn't carry a camera around. So it's like, I have all these, like, I have lunches with them, and I was over at the house, and I don't have anything to prove it. But that lasted for 3 years, and then I went to Warner Chappell for 20 years and ran the creative department there. And basically had songwriters who were writing for other people signed to me, and songwriters that I developed at the same time.
You know as the chick song plugger, right?
I'm sorry, what?
You were known as the chick.
Oh, the chick song plugger. We actually had a group called Chicks with Hits. That it was the women song pluggers from most of the major companies, a couple of independents, and we would get together on a regular basis and share information and support each other, and we would go to meetings together because it became so time consuming to pitch, and the heads of companies didn't have enough time. So when they could meet with us as a group, they just loved it. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that was the background to chick
Chicks
song.
with Hits, yeah.
I figured it was because you had so many stars who were chick singer-songwriters.
Oh, yeah, right. It's actually was a Nashville-based women's group that were called Chicks with Hits, and we went and said, we'll be the LA chapter, and they went,
Sweet.
okay.
Cool. All right, do you believe there is an X factor, a secret something in a songwriter, a je ne sais quoi?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure I can exactly tell you what it is, but it's the same thing as when you fall in love and you see somebody and you don't know why, but it's just the way their mouth works, or the way they talk, or the way they just integrate everything together. It's special. It is what it is.
Yeah. Who is your favorite songwriter?
Oh, stop. Oh my gosh. Well, I think throughout time, I think Don Henley has been probably one of my favorite songwriters. I love how smart he is. I really do. He's made me think. Recently, John Mayer has impressed the hell out of me with his songwriting.
Yeah, you're always singing In the Blood.
In the Blood.
Always, I catch you humming that.
My favorite. But there's too many. I love songs, so there's a lot of albums that I don't think I've ever listened to the full album, but I know the singles from it. I'm a very song-oriented person, so my songwriting love is very full, and I'm not going to even think about naming like one of my songwriters
you
against
could
each
do
other.
that.
No, can't
That's
do
like
that.
comparing children.
Yeah, no.
So that leads me to my next question, which is, what is your favorite song? I'll give you 5 if you need more than one.
Well, Over the Rainbow is one of my favorites. Breakfast at Tiffany's, Moon River,
nice.
is beautiful. It's Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. The End of the Innocents by Don Henley. In the Blood by John Mayer has just made that list. I'm trying to think of another one that, probably Strong Enough by Sheryl Crow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a lot harder for you than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So the relationship between you and Sheryl was particularly special. Mm-hmm. Could you talk us through how you met Sheryl, how that relationship was developed initially?
Sheryl and I met through Robert Kraft, who at the time was a record producer, writer, and Sheryl had done some backup for him. He since went on and headed 20th Century Music. He's an amazing, amazing man. But he called me because Sheryl wanted to make a record. She was singing backup at the time. She was singing backup actually for Michael Jackson at the time and did some things for Robert. And so he set up a lunch and we met and had a little Thai food. And then afterwards she came back to the office and I played her songs. And I ended up playing her some songs from a band that she was in from St. Louis. So she knew, it was a band called PM, and she was in this band doing backup, and she knew all the guys. And so I sat in my office and started playing her these songs for her. And she was like, this is so ridiculous. But she actually really loved all the songs that I played her, and that's how we connected. And we formed a friendship. She was on the road with Michael Jackson, so every time she had a week off or so, we'd connect and we'd go have lunch and we'd talk about her career. And then when she was off the road, that's when we put the pedal to the metal, and it was like, okay, how do we make you not a backup singer and have a career of your own? And that was the challenge, because Sheryl can sing anything. She was a great writer. She's a great communicator, great conversationalist. I mean, she has the it factor. Sheryl, I could go over to Sheryl's house, pick her up for breakfast, and she'd like put a pair of jeans on, a shirt on, put her hair in a ponytail, and look fantastic. And I'd be like, I spent 4 hours on this. It's like, how do you do that? But she, it was a very quick process in that it was just about being a mirror for her, and saying that's unique, that sounds great, keep going on that. That sounds like everybody else. No, that sounds great, keep doing that. So it was the reinforcement that was really the catalyst for it going so fast.
Yeah. And when you had those first big opportunities to take Sheryl to the next level, and other artists and songwriters, what did you find were the key ingredients that helped you succeed? So if you're plugging a song or an artist, is it pure motivation and determination? Were there certain tricks of the trade that you
On
used?
my part, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? When you love songs as much as I do, and music, and the songwriters, I mean, I would do anything for my songwriters. When they turned something in that I loved, there was just no stopping me, It wasn't about, I need to find motivation or anything. It was like, I would stay at night if I got a new song and play it over and over and over again. And we'd have like copyright or licensing people come down and go, okay, what are you playing? It's like, we're starting to love it too. It's like, it was just, that was my candy store. And so there was, I'm not sure there was tricks of the trade. It's just, I loved everything that I pitched. So, and that's really how I got my reputation, is that I didn't pitch things that weren't right, So my bar was pretty high with my songwriters.
Okay. What did you listen to in your 20s?
Oh my goodness gracious. What did I listen to in my 20s? Probably a lot of like Joni Mitchell and Eagles and Jackson Browne, a lot of Smokey Robinson, a lot of Stevie, oh my God.
Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks, yes, Fleetwood Mac. But oh my God, I can't believe I'm thinking, Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, I'm like, hello. A lot of Stevie Wonder.
No, that's Lionel Richie.
A lot of Stevie Wonder. Yeah, a lot, just songs. Again, it was, whatever was playing. Yeah, Queen, a lot of Queen. Yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure, music or otherwise?
Well, my guilty pleasure otherwise is ice cream. So that's my guilty pleasure there. Guilty pleasure music-wise, I think the guilty pleasure for me is being able to write songs myself. Because now that I'm not in corporate America anymore and I have the time, I've started to write myself. And I do have a standing writing appointment every Tuesday with my writing partners that you actually have joined us in, which was so much fun. But that's a guilty pleasure for me, is to be able to make that time and to actually write myself. It's been so helpful for me, and helpful in my teaching writers also. Because now I'm actually doing it. And the better you are, I mean, I think that if you're going to be a great teacher, you have to plunge into it also.
Well, that's something that I've learned from you in your retreats. You really immerse yourself in walking the walk before you talk the talk. And you spoke about auditioning for X Factor.
Yes, I did.
Was it American Idol, X Factor?
It was the first year X Factor was here. So this was about 8 years ago or so. And my best friend convinced me that we should go down and audition. She went down thinking that she was going to be the winner. I went down thinking this is going to be a wonderful thing to put myself through for my writer's process. And it was true. It was, the 18 hours that we spent at the sports arena, 6 of them outside in the rain, were so worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Amazing. So from personal experience, knowing you for a year and a half, I know how much you get done in a day. Mm-hmm. What is your secret to multitasking?
Well, I am my mother's child, first of all. Okay, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree there. My mom is almost 90, and there's just no stopping her. She takes no medication. It's crazy. But on a more serious note, I would say scheduling. I think that I have a routine in place that keeps me motivated, that keeps me going forward, that keeps me healthy, that keeps me nutritious. I wake up at the same time every day. I exercise pretty much the same time every day. I swim now every other day. I eat the same things every day. I eat at the same time every day. So those things that I can really control, I have set in place. So that way, when I'm between 9 and 1, between breakfast and lunch, for those 4 hours, I can be really productive because I've fed myself, because I've exercised, because I've done all those things in preparation for me to be productive.
That's great. Moving on to our last couple of questions. Genuflecting is a word that I heard Matt Damon say recently in an interview when describing how he felt, how some people might feel when he first meets people like Tom Hanks. It means to bow down to superiority and feel out of place in a room. Have you ever felt that? Or have you ever felt nervous in a room of people that you've thought have quite a key decision-making process for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what story I can tell you. Well, I'll tell you a story that's actually pretty funny. So, I worked at Screen Gems for 3 years, and then Screen Gems got bought. Time and Warner merged, and so all the people from Warner came over to Screen Gems, and then they were there, and all the people from Screen Gems were out. It was 1989, and it was a domino effect within the industry of people buying and selling and mergers and non-mergers, and everybody shifted. And I was out of work for 9 months. It was okay up until that last month, but it got hairy. And then at the last month, Warner Chappell hired me, and so I went to work for a man named Michael Sandoval. And so I was a little on the, I hadn't worked for a little bit, and your confidence is a little skewed. And so I was there for probably about 6 months, and he hired me as a vice president. So I went in, as the department head, and. He brought me in one day after 6 months, and he said, "Close the door." And I said, "Okay." And he had to walk long to his desk. So I walked to his desk, and I sat in the chair in front of his desk. And he got out in front of the desk. He comes out, and he sits in the chair right next to me. And he pulls himself up really close like this to me. And I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to fire me. He's found out that I'm no good and all this. And he says, "Judy," goes, "I think you need to take a trip to Nashville." And I went, "Don't you ever do that to me again." I said, "I just had a heart attack." It was the dramatics of the whole thing. So, yeah.
So that was the time, pretty nerve-wracking.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Yeah, well, especially, and then I hadn't had a job, so it's like, you're out, hustling and the whole bit, and Warner and Chappell had just merged, and it was like, "We really want to hire you, but we've just merged," and it's like, "How long do I have to wait?" Yeah. So, yeah, it was touch and go, but it all worked out.
It worked out right at the end, yeah.
It worked out in the end.
I know you've spoken a lot about, one of your clients, Jordan.
Hi, Bailey.
One of your clients, Jordan, preparing him for meetings and stuff. Mm-hmm. And you'll actually sit with him, and you'll be the executive, and he'll have to absolutely know his answers inside out and prepare for that. Mm-hmm. Did you do any of that yourself when you were preparing for meetings?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times I will write. I'll sit at a computer and write what I want to say and how I want to say it so that I can actually see the written word. Mm-hmm. I'll organize my thoughts. Oh, absolutely. I think I don't think it doesn't matter how old you are or how many times you've been doing this. Every meeting is different. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to go in knowing what your intention is and how to navigate it. I mean, that's one thing that I was talking to Jordan about, is that even though, we got these publisher meetings, which was great, it was like, it's not their meeting, it's your meeting.
Yeah.
And if you don't go in there and seduce and navigate and make it your meeting, then something's wrong. So, and you do it without them knowing it, of course. But he did a great job. He was, yeah, it's perfect.
That preparation reminds me of the kind of preparation you're doing for your TED Talk.
Yes.
Similar kind of thing. So tell us about your TED Talk.
Well, I did a TED Talk on May 20th of this year, 2017, and the subject was the benefits of teaching our children songwriting skills at an early age. And it is something I'm very passionate about. I should say thank you to you. Luke found an audition for the TED Talk in Paris, and I sent in a 3-minute video with the help of Dia, who is actually filming these door-to-doors. Thank you, Dia. And they usually only take 10 speakers. And the head of it called me up, and we had a Skype session, and then called me the next day and said, we've decided to have 11 this year because we can't not have you. So it was really an amazing honor. The process was pretty grueling, though. I'd never been through that before, so I'd never written a speech. And I always talk to my writers about, we only have 4 minutes and 200 words to say something. Well, this was, you only have 15 minutes, and so it was every, it was 5 months it took me to write that speech. And every Monday I was on with a mentor that they actually give to you to help write the speech. And it was, she took it from here to here. I remember the first time I sent her my copy of the speech, and she said, so how long do you have? And I said, I think about 12, 15 minutes. She goes, this is about, I don't know, like 36 minutes, 2 hours, 46 minutes. I'm like, okay, I can ramble, I know. But it was, like I said, it was an honor and an amazing experience.
Yeah. What did you talk about? What was the topic about?
The topic was about teaching our children songwriting at an early age. That through the art of songwriting, you learn how to tell your story, your perspective, in a short amount of time. And that is really great in all life lessons, because you're learning self-discovery, you're learning self-awareness. And when you learn that as a child, you're a lot more conscious going into this world. One of the things that I see a lot is I get clients who are just graduating from high school or just graduating from college, and though they may have the talent, they can sing well, they write, they play the guitar, they have a few lyrics, they may not know how to speak in a meeting. They may not know how to take care of their business. They may not know how to be self-motivated. There's so many other things that go around just the songwriting.
Mm. Has the internet affected the music industry? And if so, in what way? What do you think the pros and cons are?
I don't really see any cons of the internet in the music industry or our society. I think it connects everybody. I think it's given everyone a chance to be a writer, an artist, a producer. Before, you had to go to a destination. You had to go into the music business to record a record, to do anything. Licensing companies for film and television, they wouldn't take an independent song. They would only take songs that were a Warner Chappell or a Sony, because then they knew how to collect and they knew how to do all that. Now it's opened it up that the world is full of music. You can get it anywhere. So, and of course, the way they report and collect and brand and market, it's all with a touch of a button. Yeah. It's just my job, and this is, I put this heavily on me, is that my job is to make sure that the content is great. Because once you have the content great, then it makes their job so much easier to brand and market and to sell tickets when you have that hit song.
It all starts with a song.
It all starts with a song.
Yeah.
Come full circle.
So that leads us on to the last question, which is, what have you got planned for 2018?
12 more retreats, 1 book, 12 more door-to-doors, and a partridge in a pear tree. And just keep writing songs and keep. There's a whole bunch of things that you and I have been talking about, and for the writers out there, and planning other events and other 3-day weekends. We're actually talking about doing an award show next year for the alumni that have come to the retreat.
Songwriter
of the Year and naming a Song of the Year. So we've got some really good ideas coming. I'm really looking forward to it. I know we're going to be working our asses off next year, but it's so worth it because the community has just been growing and it's so exciting to see. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Judy.
You're welcome.
What a
You're
privilege.
welcome. Do you want to ask me what my least favorite word in the world to use there?
I purposely avoided that because they've probably seen it in every other interview.
I know.
What is your least favorite word to use in a song?
Destiny. You know, it's $1 million question that everybody would win the washer dryer on. You know.
Yeah.
So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.